Hey, welcome back. As promised, part four. We finna get into pretty much the ending. We got all the candidates that'll be coming up on stage all together. It's gonna be a few questions asked. Everybody won't be able to answer, but the ones that do get a chance to answer, uh, they're gonna throw around a lot of ideas. So pay very close attention. I try to point out some good pointers. Here we go. Part four: Detroit mayoral candidate debate.
Back to the mayoral debate before the August 6th primary. My name is Tom Jordan. You're watching WADL TV 38. We are now in the third segment of this debate. We have a fresh group of candidates here joining us right now. This group includes D'Artagnan Collier, Herman Griffin, John Alumba, and Dr. John Telford.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got a little ahead of myself, but this is the third group out of the, I believe, 13 candidates. But this group is very sharp and bright. These guys. They have points and they're pushing specific points. So listen in real quick. I'm going to try to get through it.
Again, each one of you are going to have an opportunity to give us a 1-minute opening statement. We are going to decide who speaks first, second, third, and fourth by a random drawing right here. So I'm going to ask all the candidates to come back up to this desk and pick up one of these cards each. When you pick it up, open it up, and you'll see a number in there. That will be your order of your opening statement. And again, just a reminder to try to adhere to the time limits. We have, after the 1-minute opening statement, we'll have a question from the panelists. The first.
I know I'm not a racist, and I know the old white dude, he old, but my man didn't have to get up and bring him back one. I know he asked him, but get your ass up.
Question that would be asked from the panel will be addressed to all the four candidates. You'll each get 1 minute for that. The following questions after that: 1 minute for the answer, and then 30 seconds for two candidates to offer their rebuttal. Have you looked at the numbers yet? And the first candidate. Welcome. Your opening statement.
My name is Herman Griffin, candidate for mayor of the city of Detroit, graduate of Cass Technical High School, ordained minister, licensed attorney, working with at-risk youth for about 10 years, trained by Barack Obama's mentors in community organizing. But what we're trying to
Oh, you done fucked up.
do while I'm running
You said B.O.
is to put the focus back on the citizens.
No, I gotta focus on you saying you was trained by Barack Obama's people. Hold up now.
People that live here, the people that ride the bus, our children, our seniors, to make Detroit a place where we not only can work and play in the city, but more importantly, we can live in this city. And again, my name is Herman Griffin.
Mr. Griffin, thank you so much. The second opening statement, please.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in, Detroit. My name is John Alumba. I'm a state representative. I'm married. I have 3 children.
Okay, if you heard him correctly, he said he's a state representative. All right. Remember the last person that was a state representative? And where they at now? Keep that in mind, because he got some sharp, decent points and sharp, decent ideas, just like someone else that I don't want to mention because he was a good guy to me. He never, I assume, I mean, I don't know, but listen it.
Girls, my wife Cam, actually, she's pregnant right now with our 4th child. It's a boy, and she politely set me down and told me, that's it. I'm an economist. I'm a political scientist. I also hold a law degree. I'm a licensed minister in the AME Church. I received my certifications from the University of Michigan, the University of Northern Illinois, and the University College of London in England. I came here tonight to talk to you and tell you some truth about some of the things going on in this election, and about some of the things going on in Detroit. Like, for instance, at this debate there was supposed to be a random order. That didn't happen. So I want to talk to you about some truth, and I also want to bring you a message of deliverance and hope. And I want to talk to you about where we need to go in Detroit. At the end of the day, I have a plan. It's a 3-part plan that I think will address our issues. But at the end of the day, it's our faith and our belief in God and our strength and our moral leadership that's going to move the mountains in Detroit. Thank you.
Mr. Lumba, thank you.
Yeah, I understand that's a metaphorically speaking statement, but ain't no mountains in Detroit.
Third opening statement.
Shit. Ain't no mountains nowhere near us.
My name is John Telford. Graduated from Wayne State University longer ago than I want to mention. I was a student at Northwestern High School.
And you lazy. You should have got the fuck up to get your card, but you go get the fuck up to talk this bullshit. Alright, I'm gonna listen in though, but let's take it. Here we go.
Was an All-American athlete back in the old days. I bring some of that same energy to the mayor's chair.
Energy, but you ain't want to get the fuck up to go get your card, but you got hella energy.
And if I am elected, I have some very grave concerns about our children. Because I was the superintendent of schools that Mr. Roberts fired. You probably read about that when that phony law came in that replaced the one we voted down. But the school board, the leadership of the school board are the folks that convinced me to run for mayor, despite my age, because I have some very, very real concerns about the fact that we don't have jobs that we should be having in the city. We don't have safety that we should be having in the city. The education program is not where it should be because the schools have been partitioned, many of them given away illegally.
Thank you, Mr. Telford. Thank you.
That's why I'm here, running for mayor, John Telford.
And the last opening statement, Mr. Collier.
Good evening, everyone. My name is D'Artagnan Collier. I am a city worker and the Socialist Equality Party's candidate for mayor. Unlike my opponents, I am running to mobilize the working class against the bankruptcy and the looting of this city by Wall Street and their big business representatives.
Whoa. Where in the hell this guy come from? He's not the sharpest looking as no homo. He's not all that, bright to the camera, if you will. He's reading off his cue card, but he's coming at you strong with strong, like in-depth points. Shit that you really weren't supposed to hear. Terms and words that you might not be familiar with. You might have to write down and look up. But listen in.
After bailing out the banks, President Obama has flatly rejected any rescue package for Detroit. Instead, the administration wants to use the city as a model for the destruction of pensions and health care of tens of millions of teachers, firefighters, and other public workers around the country.
See? Listen to what he's saying. He's not the sharpest. He's not smiling and gleaming to the camera, but he's throwing at you some real points that affect the country as well as Detroit.
This is a damning indictment of the UAW and the AFL-CIO, who has peddled the lie that the Democrats represent working people. In reality, they defend the capitalist system and the financial aristocracy, no less than the Snyder administration and the Republicans. The working class must draw a line now here in Detroit. I'm calling on workers to organize action committees against order.
Thank you, Mr. Collier. That is our opening statements for the four candidates. I'll start with a question. It'll be a 1-minute answer with 2 30-second rebuttals. This will be for John Alumba. Mr. Alumba, pensions, Attorney General Bill Schuette says public pensions are a constitutional right. Yet nearly half of those pension benefits are unfunded. There just simply isn't any money to fund those pensions. They are at risk of being lost by the year's end. How do you balance what some say is a constitutional right to money that simply isn't there?
You know what, and thank you. As a state representative, I've had an opportunity to see some things and learn some things about some of the things that go on in Lansing. And you're talking about the pension system right now. And really there's no way to talk about the pension system without talking about what's going on with this bankruptcy in Detroit. The pension is being lumped into this bankruptcy in Detroit, and I think it's an opportunity to try to liquidate these people's pensions that worked hard for these pensions in Detroit, and I'm totally opposed to that. At the end of the day, the pension system has been solvent for a number of years. The pension system has had money in it, but the mayors of Detroit have had to borrow from the pension, because in 1973, when Coleman Young took office, our credit card was maxed out.
You heard that. In 1973, not 83, 93, or 2003, 73, our credit card was maxed out. See what I'm saying?
And he wanted to file a bankruptcy then. But every mayor since then had to make mayonnaise sandwiches in order to keep Detroit afloat.
Mayonnaise sandwiches to keep Detroit afloat.
But now that Detroit is on the verge of perhaps, or at least they believe, of electing a white mayor, they want to press the emergency button and put a bankruptcy in place and liquidate the people's pensions. My thing is, go through with the bankruptcy. Leave the people's pensions alone, because the pension system has been solvent, but for the fact that mayors have been borrowing from that pension instead of going to the market. But after the bankruptcy, we'll have a free ticket.
Now, he just mentioned a good point. He's trying, if he gets elected, he's going to use our assets in the stock market.
But in Detroit, elect a mayor who's from you. Not someone who's from outside who they're setting the game up for.
Mr. Lumba, thank you. That is your time, 60 seconds. Time for 2 rebuttals from 2 candidates. Would anybody like to offer their answer to that question?
More of a rebuttal. It's more of understanding that you want people to have faith in the pension system. And we don't want people to think that when they come to Detroit that if they work hard, that they won't be rewarded. And so I'm in full support of the Attorney General trying to make sure that we keep our pensions. Also, we need to make sure that we're looking forward, not just a 1-year budget, 2-year budget, 5-year budget. We're making sure that we're not continually addicted to debt, because we don't want to be addicted to debt, and we don't want to return to the situation again.
Okay, thank you so much. Herman Griffin, another answer. You two hash it out. Who wants to answer the
Well, I answer the question.
Okay, go ahead.
It's about, pensions are a contractual obligation. They're not promises, as the media would like the general public to believe.
You heard that. They're not promises.
Workers, they want workers to be conditioned toward their living standard being lowered. In a city where a vast amount of money has been accumulated by the rich, there's money to build a stadium and to throw out people who are evicted. They say there's no money for jobs, education, and housing. So what I'm proposing is that the grip of the financial dictatorship be broken, and that the bank should be publicly owned by the working class people to provide those funds to rebuild this
Time is
city.
up. Doug Canyon, call your...
Bad motherfucker right there. See what I'm trying to tell you?
Thank you so much.
I had a rebuttal.
We're now opening up to the panel. We'll begin.
Rebuttal?
We had 2, you want to make it 15 seconds?
Yeah, 15-second rebuttal. Just on something quick that Mr. Griffin said here. He mentioned the Attorney General defending the pension system. And I'm not ready to believe, because I understand the level of political corruption that's going on in the state of Michigan. And as a state representative, I'm just not ready to believe that the Attorney General is earnest about defending those people's pensions.
Okay, thank you. John Lula, we'll now open up to the panel with Debbie Jingle. This question will be addressed to all the candidates. Each one will have 1 minute to answer the question.
Well, I've changed my question about 3 times sitting here, but I would say that you are the 4 candidates that may not be known as well by many of the citizens of Detroit. So many of them are wondering, why do you want this job? And what is it, what skills do you have that you'll bring, that you'll make a difference in everybody's lives in this city who want the lights on, they want the police to come when there's a crime in their neighborhood, and if they're sick, an ambulance to get there in time to save their lives?
Well, you know what? I'll take that if nobody's going to jump in. Debbie, you sat next to me on the floor of the House of Representatives. I'm a state representative, and you know I'm very well known in Detroit. But this is just a farce for you to ask a question and ask why I'm in the third group. I respect each and every one of these gentlemen here, but you all don't respect everyone to bring them up here on the stage together. At the end of the day, I have a 3-part plan. The first part of it is political corruption. The second part of that plan is talking about crime and then attacking poverty. At the end of the day, when we institute the plan to attack political corruption, we can make sure that resources reach the people, because that's been the #1 issue in Detroit. How can you fight crime and you won't fight political corruption? When I started the investigation into Robert Picano, people across Detroit know about that. They know about me doing that. I made sure that resources came from Wayne County to Detroit. And as mayor, I will continue to make sure resources reach the neighborhood, because when we do that, then our neighborhoods will flourish. We can cut grass, we can tear down abandoned homes if we get an honest mayor in there who's not corrupt, who's not going to hook up his buddies. And it seems to me that the media is continuing to push candidates who I believe and who people know have compromised integrity. So to me, tonight, what I'm trying to do.
Well, I know it was a little overrunning, but I'm going to come back. Part 5. Here we go.